All right, friends, great to have you with us here on our Friday evening. I'm meteorologist Keith Gibson here in the First Alert Weather Center, and hopefully you're having a great Friday evening. Nice and quiet across northeastern Wisconsin right now. We are looking at a warm and steamy weekend of weather across northeastern parts of our state, the state of Wisconsin. I want to go out to Sturgeon Bay real quick and check out what folks are doing out here. Looks like a lot of people are enjoying their Friday night there at the marina, having some pizza, having a good time. Pretty quiet here in Shawano this evening too. So let's get into your discussion. We're going to be looking at what we have in store for the weekend, which includes heat, humidity, and storm chances. I've got the comments loaded up, ready to go in our Facebook chat. If you want to chime in there and let me know what you're thinking, I'll let you know what I'm thinking here. First, let's recap today. It was a warm one, 88 in Green Bay, 86 in Appleton, even low 80s along the lakeshore of the bay. Not too bad here. Humidity creeping up a little bit, dew points in the mid-60s though, tolerable. Things will be changing though as we go throughout the next couple of days. Tomorrow, just a tick warmer, we think 89 to around 90. First alert weather day for some storms during the evening, some of which could be strong to severe. We'll talk about that in just a split second. Sunday, the odds of storms will actually go down. Can't rule it out, but we will have a first alert weather day for high heat and humidity. The heat index away from the lakeshore through the Fox Valley could be up to around 100 degrees on Sunday. And then Monday, not a first alert weather day just yet. That could change because it still looks like it's going to be somewhat humid or maybe very humid, and also some storms around here as we get into the first part of the work week next week. And that would be before some cooler and drier air comes on in here. First alert pinpoint predictor. All right, this is how it may feel tomorrow afternoon about 4:30. Now this factors in the actual air temperature and the humidity, and it would give us a temperature somewhere in the low 90s through the Fox Valley down to the southwest. Much cooler along the lakeshore in Door County and a little bit cooler across the North Woods, but we'll see how things shake out. It does look like it's going to be a pretty warm and humid day as we start the weekend. Going into our Sunday afternoon, again, storm chances lower, can't rule it out, but it looks like we'll have dew points well into the low to mid 70s. So dew points on Saturday, mid-60s, probably low to mid-70s for dew points on Sunday, and that will boost our heat index, the feel-like factor, up to around 100 degrees. If you can, find a pool, go to the lake, stay indoors, stay in the AC, and if you are going to be outdoors this weekend, just don't overexert yourself, stay hydrated, drink plenty of water, and take plenty of breaks. And it's worth noting that we have this heat and humidity coming in when typically we have some very warm air. And oddly enough, tomorrow on July 13th, 1936, it got to 104 degrees in Green Bay. That was and still is the hottest it's ever been in Green Bay back in 1936 on July 13th. So yes, this is a time of year that we would expect some very warm air to be moving into our region. And again, if you want to stay cool tomorrow, head to the pool. Highs will be around 90, and there will be a better chance for storms during the afternoon and evening here. So, all right, let's talk dew point and humidity. We had dew points this afternoon in the mid-60s. I think we stay at that level tomorrow. So you probably won't notice too many changes as far as the overall heat factor. It's going to be similar to what we had today. But Sunday and Monday, we think low to mid-70s as far as the dew point is concerned. That is realistic, and that's very muggy, very tropical here. Some spots could be in the mid-70s at some point before a cold front comes through on Monday and bumps us back down to that comfort zone in the 50s there. It's going to be nice and comfortable by the middle of next week, but pretty ugly here as far as heat and humidity, especially on Sunday. So we've got the first alert weather day tomorrow, really for the strong storm potential tomorrow evening, and the high heat and humidity for Sunday with a much lower storm chance. So what's happening right now? It is 9/11 on our Friday evening. There's a couple of batches of storms way up there in Canada, also out there in the Dakotas. There's actually a severe thunderstorm watch out there across central North Dakota. And there's actually a little bit of activity up there near Winnipeg. And that right there is what could hold together and try to slip it into our area tomorrow afternoon. But we still think there's likely going to be some more regeneration behind this. coming in tomorrow evening. So yes, a small chance for a storm tomorrow afternoon, probably a better opportunity, better odds tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. And remember a couple of weeks ago in the middle of the night, we had a big line of storms move through with some strong wind. If we do see severe weather this time of year, it's typically storm complexes that will produce a lot of wind, a lot of lightning, torrential downpours, a little bit of hail with a low tornado threat. That's typically the case, and this whole setup looks like it would be similar to what I just described. And wind and rain, the primary threats, a low end risk for tornadoes. Could be a little bit of hail, but a lot of lightning, a pretty good light show, especially if this comes during the overnight hours. Now, the latest thinking here is that there's a level 2 severe weather risk, level 1 across the region too, but we'll have clusters of storms try to drift on in from the northwest. They'll move from northwest to southeast late tomorrow night. The exact placement, the exact coverage, it's still up in the air, folks. I'll be honest with you. We're just getting some new information right now. We'll have the latest. I think hopefully it's in by the late news tonight on the TV side. But it's coming in right now, and it's suggesting that we'll have rounds of storms or clusters. The placement's still iffy, and that's the nature of the beast, especially tomorrow, because the actual cold front with this whole thing is not coming through until Monday. And these storm complexes will get going somewhere and move somewhere, but until they form, we just don't know exactly where they're going to go. So scattered severe storms a possibility tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, in about 24 hours, and that would be what we would be anticipating right now. Now, for the rest of tonight, looking great, looking quiet. This is our First Alert Pinpoint Predictor model. This one we showed earlier. We're waiting the new update. It should be about in here, actually. But this takes a weakened batch of rain and storms into the western part of the state by the morning and tries to nudge some of it over into our area by the early afternoon. This is 2 o'clock. Now, that's not a guarantee. We're really focusing on tomorrow evening, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if some spots had a little bit of wet weather at some point during the afternoon prior to the evening. We just have to wait and see where the storms are and if they're going to hold together. We're still going to have a few limiting factors here tomorrow afternoon, but it's a possibility. Now, this is 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. There are some signs that there will be a big batch of storms or a couple of clusters of storms around tomorrow evening. So the big money, I guess you could say, would be on the higher storm chance being during the evening tomorrow into tomorrow night. Now, how fast they clear out, that's another question. Will they linger past midnight? This run of predictor takes most of the storms out of here by 11 o'clock. But other solutions take the storms into the overnight hours, even more so into early Sunday morning, rather. So that's what we're just going to be in this wait-and-see game, waiting to see, obviously, as the weekend unfolds. And the thinking on Sunday is that the storms will clear out early, and then the atmosphere is going to be capped off a little bit. It's going to be warm and steamy, but there's could be too much warm air aloft that would not really allow a lot of storm regeneration to occur during the afternoon. So we're, at this point, downplaying the odds of widespread storm activity on Sunday. We'll see, but storms are possible, and if they do happen to form, they could be strong. Right now, I would say the odds are on the lower end there, and as we get into Monday, odds are higher again as a cold front will start to come on through. I'm going to extend that run of predictor out for the Monday afternoon time frame on the TV side at 10 o'clock. Now, through noon Monday, and we'll also extend this out too because I think the data is probably in by now. Some of you may get 1 to 2 inches of rain or more wherever these storm complexes go, and some of you will miss out. So this here is definitely not gospel. This is not what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure this will be changing. But with all the juice in the atmosphere, some of us will get soaked and some of us will miss out. And if you do happen to get the storms, it's really going to be a pretty good one, I would suspect, with some wind and some rain, some lightning, maybe some hail here. So that is the course of the weekend. We're watching Monday. Again, a possible first alert weather day. And at this point, it doesn't really matter if it is or not because we're going to expect the same situation heat, humidity storms. I'm just waiting for another cycle to go to see exactly how this will time out. But I think we're leaning towards the first alert weather day on Monday. So just to give you that heads up here on Friday, the next 3 days looking pretty active and warm and humid. So Monday, I think it's a pretty quiet start to the day, but the odds would be for the afternoon and evening hours or out ahead of that cold front to produce the storms. And then as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, high pressure comes on in from Canada, lower humidity, comfortable air, highs in the 70s, lows in the mid to maybe low 50s here by the middle of next week. And we're looking at lows this weekend in the 60s to low 70s. So a big change of pace is coming by the middle of next week. We go from upper 80s to low 90s to the mid to upper 70s in just a couple of days. So it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster ride here for the next week or so for sure. Now tonight, mainly clear, fair skies. You probably did notice a little bit of haze in the air today. That's some elevated wildfire smoke that has been drifting overhead from Canada. Not really causing too many major issues at this point, but it was just enough to cause a little bit of filtered sunshine today. Some of that could be lingering tomorrow as well. So if it does look hazy, it is some elevated wildfire smoke. Lows for most of us in the 60s tonight, tomorrow. Upper 70s right near the water, but inland areas probably mid to upper 80s to around 90 degrees, above the average of 80, excuse me, above the average of 81. So our 7-day forecast here, it is looking pretty warm here for the next couple of days. Let's bring this up full screen. I've got 89 tomorrow, 91 Sunday, 89 Monday. It will be cooler near the lakeshore, so if you can get to Lake Michigan or the Bay or any lake or river, try to stay cool if you can, but pretty warm and humid area-wide through Monday. And then the humidity starts to lower on Tuesday, looking pretty good for the middle of next week. So that is what we have going for the next 7 days. It is going to be a bit of a steam bath this weekend, and nothing we haven't had before. But it is summer, it is July, it's, it is what it is. We'll get through it just fine. We just really have to watch out for the storm chance tomorrow night. We don't want to lose power before we really have a hot day on Sunday. That would be another aspect that we don't really want to navigate through. But with strong storm potential tomorrow evening, they could be some wind producers if they do happen to move across our area. And there could be some issues with that, followed by a very hot and humid day on Sunday. But as we mentioned, it will be a little bit better by the middle of next week. So that is the latest here. It is 9:20, and we'll see you with the very latest on the news tonight. WBAY News tonight at 10 o'clock over on the TV. With that, I wish you a great Friday evening, and we hope to see you here again this weekend.